What is up, everybody? Here is the Transcoded Titan, back with another video. It's been 2 weeks, but it's good to be back. And I'm going to be reviewing Starscream. Finally! Taking a look at the figure, you can see it's Starscream in his jet mode. F-15 Eagle, I believe, is what it's called. He's got the null rays, which are just attached peg in the hole, and they don't have the actual missiles, but that's I don't really care. He's got nice Decepticon symbols on the wings, really nice panel details all throughout. He's even got, if you look in, you can see he's got a molded cockpit detail. It doesn't open at all, but that's okay. The bottom, what you'd expect for a Seeker, if I remember correctly, is just a remolded version of the Earthrise Starscream. The only new detail is his hands are now able to, like, fucking open, you know? He does come with some accessories, which we will talk about later. Let's go ahead and get into size comparisons. Here he is with a inferior jet former that calls itself a leader class, Legacy Blitzwing, my previous review core class Shockwave. Here he is with the Masterpiece Seeker mold. I don't have a Starscream. We don't talk about that. And then, of course, how could I forget Transform Element OP Leader. Before we get into transformation, it is worth mentioning that he does have flaws. Unlike some Masterpiece Starscreams, the tail fins are solid pieces, but the bottom is pretty ugly. I mean, this is standard for a Seeker, but it still doesn't look great. You can easily tell legs, feet, chest, and then his arms fold in. And you can even see the back of his head right there. So it's not very pretty, but given the Voyager class budget this guy was given, it's serviceable. Alright, let's go ahead and transform this guy. You're gonna have to start by removing the null rays. Make him do the droop snoot, just to get that out of the way. Open up his dick, pull these panels, and then untab and extend. And you'll notice on these blue parts, there's a tab there and a hole there. So just peg it in, split, and then you'll fold the tail fin up. Use that ankle pivot, turn it, and that'll actually move the back heel with it. Then you can just flatten everything out. Go ahead and, this is kind of hard to show. There's tabs that are hooking it all together. But basically you want to hold your fingers, that's why you had to hold your fingers at these air intake things and squeeze a little. And that makes it really easy to open that up. Sorry, I'm moving around a lot. It's just the easiest way to show this off. Fold the wings up. That'll let you just fold that down. Next, you'll want to open up the arms, and you'll take it. Go ahead and get the hand out of the way. This is the hardest part. You want to get your nail into the forearm and just open it up, extend it, and close it back up, and that's an arm all done if it'll stay out. Same thing on the other side, obviously. The last thing you'll want to do, turn the nose cone around, we'll put it down, and you'll see this long peg will feed into there. Just snap it all back together. Take the nose cone, fold it down, and there you have Starscream, and then just take these, and now they'll peg into his shoulders. Now that we have Starscream all transformed up, he looks pretty good. Not perfect. His head, it feels a little too dark, like it's hard to see So I'm not a big fan of that, and my shitty lighting isn't helping at all. But don't worry, I'll be getting better lighting soon. Ooh, foreshadowing. I hate myself. But he does look very good. For a mainline, at least. He's no masterpiece, but he's not trying to be. I am not a huge fan of the nose cone on the back, but that's a compromise I'm willing to make for something that looks like this. So let's go ahead and talk about his posability. For posability, he's got a ball joint at the head so he can move it all around, side to side, whatever you want to do. His wings can fold back so that he can do a full 360, and he can T-pose out. The null rays are on a peg, so you can swivel them as far as you want. What the fuck does that even mean? Anyway, he's got upper arm swivel, which it's very tight. And then he's got a pretty good elbow bend, over 90 degrees. I wish he had wrist swivel, but unfortunately he doesn't, which I really don't get why, considering they redid the hands for him. But his hands, they can also open and close, and for transformation you'll want his hands closed. But nothing at the waist, unfortunately. His crotch moves out, and he can kick forward that far. You kind of have to, that's as far as he does with his leg straight, but if you bring the leg out a little bit, he can kick a little bit higher. Not very far back. He can do a pretty alright spread. A thigh swivel. Here's a problem I have. If you try to bend his leg, sometimes it's not gonna do it now. Alright, there. Like this thing the leg just starts collapsing, which isn't great. But if you hold it together, he's got a really good knee bend, honestly. He's got the toe movement, so if you want to use that anyway, you can. And then, something not very common for a mainline, a really decent ankle pivot. Moving on to size comparisons, here he is again with the bitch, with Shockwave, Thundercracker, and of course Nemesis Prime. Now there is a little bit more to talk about, and that's with the accessories I talked about earlier that I just dropped. But to start off, you're going to want to take off his null rays, and that's when we introduce this. Anyone that's ever seen the 86 movie knows exactly where this is going. It's got a new null ray that specifically goes in there, and then you just plug it into the same spot. I'll be right back. Now you'll want to come to the back and lift the nose cone. You'll see a peg for a cape, which goes on right there, and then you can just pull the nose cone down. And for the final accessory, you get a crown. And you'll just take that, pop it onto his head, and I said the final accessory, but he comes with his throne, which he can sit on, but it's kind of a pain to get in, so I don't really bother. But now he's in his coronation mode. He looks amazing. I am so happy. And you can even splay out the cape. Then you can pose that so he looks just like... Now I didn't put much effort in, but that is a very cool pose. And if you want, you can store all the accessories. I'll show a picture of it right now. Bam! And yeah, that's about it for this. It doesn't limit the posability. I mean, you can't really move the shoulders as much, but otherwise posability is exactly the same. And I love this look. If I displayed mainlines, this is how I would display him. Overall, this figure satisfies me very much. This is everything I'd want in a mainline Starscream. All the extra bits make it actually feel like the leader class price, instead of this guy just coming with 2 gauntlets and calling it a leader class. That, he doesn't feel worth it, but he does. He comes with so much, and it makes me happy with the leader class price. If you don't have this guy and you like mainline, please do yourself a favor, get him. Even if you don't like Starscream, like, I don't care for the character of Starscream. I prefer Thundercracker, as you can see, and I just needed this guy. But anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I don't know when I'm gonna upload again, but it will be in my new place where I will be reviewing from now on. So hope to see you next time. Bye.